Alex Pereira is predicting a violent knockout ending to his fight with Israel Adesanya at UFC 281. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya has bigger things on his mind than defending that UFC title. And then, Paulo Costa teases a move to boxing after an impending conclusion of his miserable UFC contract. All of this and the latest MMA news on your favorite MMA Quick Takes. Paulo Costa is going to need to see some changes in order to keep him in the UFC after his contract expires. Costa is currently riding high off of a big fight of the night unanimous decision victory over Luke Rockhold. Despite believing the fight may have been his last on the contract, Costa revealed afterward that he actually has one more fight to get out of the way before he can test free agency. Yesterday, Costa revealed that his contract has an upcoming expiration date, which will lead him away from mixed martial arts. Surely Costa is referencing his newly scheduled fight against former UFC title holder Robert Whittaker at UFC 284. Costa tweeted, quote, "My miserable contract with the UFC was up in a few short months. Will expire in time. A new boxer is coming to town." This isn't the first time Costa has shared his interest in boxing due to the higher payouts than MMA. If Costa can head into negotiations with a second straight big win, he should certainly have better leverage with the UFC, as opposed to being on a two-fight skid as he was before facing Rockhold. Costa is only 31 years old, still in the prime of his career, but I can't help but think that Costa wants to move over to boxing simply because of this whole Jake Paul fad that's going on right now. Costa has been seen more than once calling out Jake Paul on social media in the past. He's even gone so far as to create headlines of him making death threats to Jake Paul. That being said, it only makes sense that Costa wants the big paycheck and the big headlines of fighting someone like Jake Paul, but he doesn't quite fit the bill of Jake Paul types. Nonetheless, I do think Paulo Costa would fit in well in boxing. He's got the skills for it, and I think it would be a great change of pace for him. It's not extremely unheard of to see MMA fighters moving over to boxing, especially as of late, so I'm curious to see what the future holds for Paulo Costa. But for right now, let's just focus on his upcoming fight with Robert Whittaker. I don't know if he's going to make it out alive on this one. Next, Alex Pereira simulated a UFC 281 clash with Israel Adesanya, which ended in a violent KO win for Alex Pereira. And if the simulation plays out in real life, Alex Pereira will then sit at 3-0 and be the new middleweight champ. UFC 281 takes place on November 12th at Madison Square Garden in New York City. In the video game simulation, Pereira is doing damage with his kicks, hurting Adesanya multiple times before eventually landing a front kick to the chin that knocked Israel Adesanya out. Along with posting the clip of this simulation on Instagram, Pereira stated, "Even the video game knows." Adesanya and Pereira have met twice in kickboxing bouts before signing with the UFC. Both fights were ultra competitive, with Pereira winning both contests, including Pereira's knockout win in the rematch at Glory of Heroes 15 on March 2017. Meanwhile, the last stylebender has bigger things on his mind than defending the UFC title. Although the narrative ahead of this bout is entirely wrapped up in history, both men have made their reputations as dangerous, exciting strikers. But, as I've mentioned, head-to-head, Pereira has been the one to get his hand raised. It's under those circumstances then that Adesanya approaches 281 in the sixth defense of his belt. In a recent interview released on his YouTube channel, Adesanya explained that avenging those losses is far more meaningful a motivator than keeping his UFC belt. He said, quote, "Beating him, that's what matters. Like the belt, fuck the belt. Just beating him, a killer like him, that's what matters." When speaking of his previous KO loss to Pereira, Adesanya said, "We've dusted that off. We've cut it off, and I can see what I did wrong. So it's not going to be like last time. This is a different fighter you're facing, and now I've become another fighter. I've rebirthed myself. I've rebirthed it, and I just feel like I want to have fun. That's the goal. But this fight, I'm gonna have fun. That's the ultimate goal. And when I have fun, I'm the best in the world." As far as Pereira is concerned, Adesanya's on his way to another KO loss, saying that he won't make it to 5 rounds. No matter which way this fight goes, I am so freaking excited for it. You guys all know that I'm a huge Israel Adesanya fan. Of course, I'm gonna be wildly biased in this fight. I will always have Izzy's back. Of course, I'm gonna pick him in the fight. I just hope to see that Israel Adesanya can get the redemption that he's looking for. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Starting with Paulo Costa, do you think it's a good move for him to head over to boxing after finishing his UFC contract? Also, who do you have for the Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya fight? Moreover, who do you want to see win the Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya fight? I love reading all of your comments. I love responding to all of your comments. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when we're live and you can stay up to date on all of our latest uploads. This is the latest MMA news on your favorite MMA Quick Takes.